The Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the great Maya Angelou summarized the essence of my very existence when she proclaimed, "Bringing the gifts my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave." I proudly say that I am a descendant of enslaved people. Slavery existed in this country for some 246 years. The value of 246 years of unpaid slave labor has been estimated to be as much as $14.2 trillion. Let's examine for just a moment each megabank's involvement in financing slavery. Truist Financial Corporation has assets of approximately $532 billion. 5 predecessor institutions engaged in financing slavery. PNC, Financial Services Corporation, assets of approximately $534 billion. A predecessor loaned $135,000 to a railroad company that used slave labor in 1852. U.S. Bancorp, assets of approximately $582 billion. A predecessor institution made a loan secured by enslaved people. Wells Fargo, assets of approximately $1.71 trillion. Predecessor bank accepted enslaved people as collateral in at least 24 transactions, took temporary possession of enslaved people from defaults on loans. Conducted business with the Confederacy. Citicorp, assets of approximately $1.72 trillion. Provided a chart of mergers pursuant to a request that we made, and acquisitions over a course of 210 years that is lengthy and complex, but didn't give us a detailed report. Staff has asked for more information, hasn't received it to this date. More to be said on that at a later time. Bank of America, assets of approximately $244 trillion. A predecessor bank secured a mortgage with real and personal property. The borrower's property included 13 enslaved people. A predecessor bank agreed to a $10,000 mortgage to U.S. Secretary of State John Forsyth with 40 enslaved people as collateral. J.P. Morgan Chase, assets of approximately $3.38 trillion. Predecessor banks accepted 13,000 enslaved people as collateral for loans. Came into possession of 1,250 enslaved people from defaults on loans. In the case of J.P. Morgan Chase, there has been an apology publicly made and an announcement of $5 million scholarship, which amounts to about $384.61 per enslaved person. These scholarships went to persons in Louisiana. I have a question for you, each of you. Question is this: if you believe your bank has done enough to atone for your involvement with slavery, kindly raise a hand into the air. Let the record reflect that no hand has been raised. Next question: will you publicly publish an atonement plan or on or before your next appearance before the committee? An atonement plan. You've indicated that you've not done enough. Will you publish an atonement plan on or before your next visit? If so, raise your hand. Let the record reflect that not one bank has proposed an atonement plan. Let's move to another area quickly. I don't perceive either of you to be, any of you to be a person of color. Have you self-identified as a person of color? Raise your hand. Not one person raises a hand. In the next 10 years, will there be a person of color to head your institution? If so, raise your hand. Let Truist Bank, and that is the only one, I think. Thank you. I yield back.
Thank you very much. The gentleman from Kentucky, Mr.